fi turn it up on weekends. Boss a toast to your real friend. Tell me why you
He running up all the money.
good time, eh?
Good times, it's gonna be some good times. Man, we used to pull up and let them that hood time. Remember I used to grab on that when it was about that. It had a walk up trip and she get that time. I don't waste time. I don't have patience, baby. She gon' get on top of it and she speed racing. We go wild walks up every time. She my boss like a grandson. Come here, baby. I let her write me my suggestions.
The 2K Sports pregame show, brought to you by Kia.
All my money coming clean, you can't rock this. She got that locked up like lost meal. Watch out, come to my lights like a reindeer. Me and Poppy on the same. My diamonds could never stand still.
The New Orleans riverfront gleaming brightly along the Mississippi here tonight. It's the Pelicans at home for a little interconference action in New Orleans. I'm Kevin Harlan along with Greg Anthony and Brett Berry, our terrific analysts, and David Aldridge is our sideline reporter. The Heat will play just this one game on the road before returning back home to Miami. And with pregame routines coming to an end, we're just about ready for our tip-off. First, though, let's get a report from the sideline and say hello to David Aldridge.
Well, guys, Anthony Davis's ascent to stardom has been almost as quick as the physical growth that transformed his game. Davis said, going into my senior season in high school, I grew 7 inches in one summer. Every 2 to 3 weeks, I needed new clothes, new shoes.
Thanks, DA. As I recall, he said that was a tough adjustment, but he's been ahead of the curve ever since. And as we move past the All-Star break, everyone is fighting for playoff position right now. Do you feel the top 8 teams from each conference getting into the playoffs is a fair number? Would you like to see fewer, more? What do you think?
I think 8 is a good number. 16 teams being represented in the postseason for the NBA playoffs. It works out quite well.
So here's Miami's starting group. They've got Avery Bradley. Amir Johnson is out there with Chris Bosh. Then there's Dragic, and it's Johnson in at the small forward position. And Holiday kicks to Davis. Here's Cousins. Second chance shot. Misses from short range. Here's Bradley. Foul call that time on the way up. That'll give him 2 chances at the free throw line here. And the Pelicans, since drafting Anthony Davis, have taken an impatient approach, trading away picks for veteran players.
I think they're being somewhat patient. I mean, you got Anthony Davis there, and so that's going to invite some players who become free agents to play alongside, Kevin, a star that's going to create easier opportunities as he gets better. Moving forward, though, you have to consider whether they've capped out the upside of their roster.
He hits both from the stripe.
And for the Heat last season, they seem to have a very defensive approach to how it is that they wanted to play. Challenged every shot, did well on their rotations, and they definitely limited their opponents' scoring by slowing down the pace of the game.
New Orleans on D. They come into this one following a loss to the Thunder.
Guys, it was like there was a lid on the basket in that game. No matter how many plays you make at the defensive end, hard to overcome such a lack of production offensively.
Yes, accuracy was not their strong suit, and it wasn't necessarily because the D was so tough. They created a lot of open looks. They just couldn't hit anything.
As you said, the Heat pride themselves on their defensiveness and one of the best teams in the league, Brent, in opposing points per game.
Well, it shows you just how great a unit they are defensively, but you can't just have athleticism and tenacity on the defensive end. You have to have great communication on the back line, and I think that that's where the credit to the coaching staff has to go. They've gotten these guys to talk to each other on that end of the floor, and that's reaping some huge dividends. And off the schneid here, 1 of 5, but that's a big one.
For Miami, they've gone just 1 of 4 to get this game started. Feeds it to Johnson. And stolen by Cousins. To the wing right side. Misses off the right iron.
Ill-advised shot there.
And he knows it. Got locked into scoring mode. Couldn't pull it back.
Oh, fellas, that was vicious two-hand monster slam.
Guys, I don't think there was anyone who could have stopped him on that one. Pass to Hill. He feeds it to Cousins. Some nice passing here by New Orleans. Good on the triple. Holiday's got 5 points so far.
Well, gorgeous outside jumper from the former UCLA Bruin. He can get hot from the three-point line if you give him room like that.
And he gives that rim a good tug on the way down.
Well, that's how you drive your point home right there. Pelicans trail by 3. Outside, Davis. Back to Holiday. At the elbow, it's Cousins. And so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. And DeMarcus Cousins, such a polarizing figure for coaches and fans alike. And this is dating back to his college days, even at Kentucky.
Yeah, maturing some, but obviously that fire burns bright within him. His passion is what helps fuel that production, especially when you start comparing him to other true centers. You know, you think about DeMarcus Cousins, every time you feel like he's kind of nearing his ceiling, he just explodes through it. I mean, some of the stat lines he put up, they're legendary. And if he weren't already difficult enough to defend last year, he added the ability to stroke that three-pointer. I mean, you're talking about a 7-footer with the complete repertoire on the offensive end.
Well, he's seen it before where he can light it up with the best in the league, but right now, he just does not have the touch.
Davis kicks to Crawford. That's in there. Davis with the assist.
Oh, a good open look, and he sprays it home from 3.
The Heat have gone 3 of 7 from the field since we've gotten underway. And talking about Cousins' new outside shot, he hadn't taken more than 22 three-pointers in an entire season before last year. Quite a change.
Yeah, everything Cousins is doing skill-wise on the money. Maybe you'd like for him to shoot for a higher field goal percentage, but that could be nitpicking. The important thing is the total effect he has on his team. Yeah, none too pleased with the play of his team, and you know what? They just need to get things sorted out.
Well, when your opponent keeps piling on like this, your only choice is to get together during a timeout and fix it.
A big group substitution here for New Orleans. Unis is checked in for Davis. Pondexter comes in for Hill. Morris checked in for Jordan Crawford. And it's Frazier in for Drew Holiday. And a new group in for the Heat. David Lee checked in for Johnson. Riza comes in for Johnson. Mills, he's checked in for Bradley. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Goran Dragic. And Beverly kicks to Ariza. Here's Lee. And he gets it to go.
Alvin, one of the best in the league at drawing up plays to free up a shooter. He's been doing that his whole career.
Frazier against Beverly. Cousins, good on the bucket.
So elusive on the offensive end. Very difficult for any defense to match up against.
Here's Mills. It's good. He makes his first shot of the game.
And there's that quickness. Mills trying to do a better job of attacking inside these days.
Frazier kicks to Moore. Good, and it's Frazier who picks up the assist. Moore's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Down low and stolen by Cousins. Oh, he blocked it and deflects off the backboard. Here's Mills. Offensive rebound. And it's good off the back of the rim and in.
And that's 10 straight points in the paint. The defense, nowhere to be found.
Frazier kicks to Montejunas. Now the dish to Moore. Cousins, the pass to Pondexter. And count the basket. He was fouled, and he's going to the line for one more.
How about the passing? They are moving the ball without any thought, without any individual agenda.
And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
And, you know, guys, he had a big game at the free throw line in their last outing.
Free throw good, Pondexter. They can go 2 for 1.
It's about being smart right now.
And Beverly kicks to Mills. To the paint. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. It would have been hard to believe in the past if I told you Chris Bosh would evolve into one of the better three-point shooting bigs in the league. But, Brent, here we are. He's been fantastic beyond the arc.
Well, so many things have changed for Chris Bosh after being a dominant player in Toronto, really controlling the right block and having nobody get in his way. Once coming to Miami and playing with LeBron James, he made a significant shift and took a lot of time and hard work to become a very deadly three-point shooter. Chris Bosh's underappreciated, amazing career continues.
New Orleans making a switch here. Cunningham's checked in. Moore outside. And he makes good on the layup. Moore's got 5. There's 21 seconds left to play here in the first. And Chris Bosh with the slam.
Well, there's a couple things that Patty is working on to be a better player in this league, and finding the open man is one of them.
Now here's Moore, covered by Mills. And here is Moore. There's the triple. Offense, the order of the day as the first quarter comes to a close. Pelicans on top. They lead by 4. Let's take a quick break now, and then it's on to the second quarter after this. And one of the rising stars in the NBA is Anthony Davis. His offensive game is growing by leaps and bounds, and he talked about his area of focus.
A lot of face-up, like to do the one dribble pull-up. You like to do the one dribble, fade back off one leg. I haven't got there yet, but catching the ball at the elbow, catching the ball at the nail.
Well, I'll tell you could be here an awfully long time if we're going to list all the different moves Anthony Davis can hurt you with.
Yeah, the Brow definitely has the full toolkit available to him. Tools a lot of guys don't learn to use till much later in their careers, really, if at all.
Now the second quarter getting ready to start up. Guys, what stands out to you from the Pelicans in this one?
You can tell right now this team's on the same page. They are right where they want to be offensively.
Love the unselfish basketball. Beautiful thing to watch. It's how the game is supposed to be played.
On the court for Miami here in the second. David Lee is out there with Trevor Ariza. Then there's Avery Bradley. Then it's Amir Johnson. And it's Beverly in at the point guard. 6 to shoot. The 11-footer. No good on the shot. A bit long that time. Pelicans leading by 7.
And for the Pelicans, the way that their roster is constructed, they can play big or small. The question is which lineup works best. They have players who are great at one end but can hurt you on the other. That's just a tricky balance.
The pass to Johnson. That's tipped. Here's Pondexter. Ariza covering. Outside Holiday. Here's Davis. The second effort. Cunningham gets the bucket. And now an 11-point Pelican lead.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
And the Heat call time here. And the Pelicans can load up in the middle. They can space the floor. Brent, what do you think suits them the best?
Well, you always look at the matchup first, Kevin, but ultimately a team has to become very confident in what it is that they can do and not concern themselves with the other team. I think they're best at spacing the floor and using Anthony Davis's quickness on the perimeter and in the transition game to really take it at teams.
The Pelicans making a switch here. Cousins is checked in. Outside Holiday. Second quarter of basketball, just over a minute and a half played so far. 6 to shoot. Here's Davis, and so he earns a trip to the line. Officials saw the contact, and he'll shoot 2. And you look at Anthony Davis's offensive game, a very capable ball handler. But you know what, Brent? He scores best playing off the ball sometimes, catching and making plays inside.
Well, I love his decision-making right there in that instance because he rarely takes bad shots. Maybe one of the most underrated parts of his game is that he just doesn't turn the ball over very much. And for a high usage rate guy, that's impressive stuff.
And Brent, you remember when Anthony Davis came into the league, the only question mark was his slender frame. Those days are over.
Well, when he turned sideways his rookie year, you couldn't find him, but he's put on 30 pounds of muscle and has still retained all of that quickness. So that's a testament to the training staff as well as his discipline and commitment in the offseason to get better. Remember, he's working on that three-point shot, Kevin. Imagine that when that comes along.
Okay, well, let's check in with David Aldridge, who's reporting from the sidelines.
Well, guys, we've seen DeMarcus Cousins become one of the elite big men in the NBA, dominant in the post and even adding the three-pointer to his game. But at times, his temper has overshadowed his talent. Cousins says he's now turned a corner, saying, "My mind has grown. I understand the league better. I understand the politics of it. Now I'm becoming the professional I need to be. It took time." Guys, he understands he now has to lead by example.
He wants to win, David. We know that. Thank you. Good on the second free throw. Well, not too many current or former NBA players can say this, but you can, Brent. You've been in a movie. How was it getting involved in the Jerry Maguire movie? And do you have any more plans to be on the big screen?
I have more plans to go to movies, Kevin.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
If anything could change the momentum, it's that kind of play. Cloud of smoke has people standing on their feet.
That Kia Slam Cam replay really gave you a good look at the action. Now about 3 minutes gone in this second quarter of basketball. Off on the layup. Bradley kicks to Johnson. Back to Bradley. Good ball movement here by Miami. Johnson dishes to Bradley. That one good for 2. Bradley's got his second basket of the night.
I mean, the number of points they've scored in the paint already here is eye-opening.
Holiday, the pass to Cousins. Count it. His second make in 4 attempts.
A defensive breakdown there, no doubt about it. I mean, he's a guy you have to be focused on defensively.
Dragic kicks to Johnson. And stolen by Cousins. And now we've got the intentional foul.
Yeah, not sure what that was about. I mean, talk about a brain cramp.
So for the Pelicans, Maniunas comes in for Anthony Davis. And Tim Frazier subbed in for Drew Holiday. Chris Bosh is checked in for the Heat. Mills comes in for Bradley. The feed now to Hill. He dishes it to Maniunas. Miami grabs the miss. Their last game a win against the Lakers, looking to carry it into this one.
And how about the game plan that was constructed for that one? I mean, it was apparent how powerless the D was to stop it.
Yeah, offensively, they got all the momentum behind them, got the D on the ropes, and they just kept throwing haymakers.
Screen by Cousins, poked loose, and so the ball out of bounds. Bosh touched it last. A chance here to assess what parts of the floor the attempts have been coming from as we look at the shot chart for the Heat.
And not a lot of attempts from beyond the break. Those deeper three-pointers can be a little outside of some players' range, but they've got guys who can make that shot. I think that's just an outlier so far.
Crawford, no one around him. And it's off from three-point range. The Heat trail by 7. Mills, that's a two-pointer. And the Heat get another bucket right there.
Well, he's a serious catch-and-shoot threat really every time down the floor. Mills has to be accounted for by the defense.
Frazier kicks to Crawford. Frazier outside. Passes it to Montejunas. Fades. And again, New Orleans has no luck.
He looked like he was in rhythm to shoot that one, guys, especially as open as he was. Just clanged it.
And the shot is good from Johnson.
And not hard to see why they are giving up points on this run. Just too many good looks from in close.
Mills with the steal.
Not sure if they're aware of the 2-for-1 opportunity.
Well, I'm sure they are. I'll bet we see a quick shot right here.
The ball movement on this run has been fantastic and is a big part of why they've been able to get these good looks.
Frazier kicks to Crawford. Tries it from 9. And Cousins throws it down. We've got 28 seconds left now here in the second. Down low. It's stolen by Hill. And Patrick Mills gets that whistle that time. That's his first foul. New Orleans making some changes here. Dante Cunningham's checked in for Cousins. Pondexter comes in for Hill. And Moore subbed in for Jordan Crawford. And then for Miami, David Lee's checked in for Ariza. And it's Patrick Beverly in for Goran Dragic. To the middle. Stolen by Bosch. In transition, here comes Miami. And the jam by David Lee.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Well, this team now has to settle in right here and have a great possession without getting so aggressive that you compound your mistake.
The Pelicans have missed a few free throws up to this point, shooting 4-7 from the foul line tonight.
And when you look at that free throw percentage on the season, they're right around 73%.
No good on that one. Good on the second free throw. Deflects the pass. And so it's a close game as we wrap up the first half of basketball. Pelicans lead by 2. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks, Kevin. Coach, what has to happen differently on defense in the second half?
Well, a little bit more activity, and we just have to be committed to what we do. Our identity to be aggressive, but more consistent with it.
Well, thanks for your time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks so much, Dave, for the great interview. Don't go away, folks. We'll be back for the second half of basketball right after this.
It's the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
And we hope you've enjoyed our first half of action. I'm Ernie Johnson welcoming you back. Shaquille O'Neal is right there. Kenny the Jet Smith is right there. And this here is the halftime. A competitive matchup for New Orleans in the first quarter. The biggest lead they were able to get out to during the first period was 6 points. The second quarter saw them lose just a fraction of the lead they held at the end of the first, as they're now ahead by 2 points at the half. Kenny, your thoughts, how the Pelicans are playing?
Well, there was one pleasant surprise, and that was the bench. They gave them a big lift. Those guys came into the game, they did all the dirty work, and they scored baskets.
And Shaq, your thoughts on the Heat?
The thing I like was how they were making a conscious effort to work the ball inside. They should do the same in the second half. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Whether running the offense through the post, driving it, doesn't matter. Get to the rim, and the rest will take care of itself.
That concludes our halftime presentation. We now take you back to Kevin Harlan for the second half.
Welcome back, folks. Downtown New Orleans shining brightly tonight, as you can see from this bird's eye view. And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first. Third quarter starting here now. In the lead. Well, we've got a moment. Let's set the floor. Brought to you by Gatorade, all fueled up for the second half. Setting the floor now for the Pelicans. Holiday out there with Jordan Crawford. Then it's Anthony Davis. Then there's Solomon Hill. And it's Cousins in at the 5 spot. 5. That's in, coming off the assist from Johnson. Johnson's got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight.
You know, around the league, Chris Bosh is thought about as such a versatile big man that still can dominate a game. Rare to have someone be so comfortable from anywhere on the floor with his size. Creating his own shot is very rare at the power forward spot, but expanding to the three-point line has made him devastating offensively.
That one is off. And with Bosh in his play, he's still one of the best power forwards in the league. Brent, you have to include his name into that conversation.
Well, don't let Erik Spoelstra's secrets out of the bag with what Chris Bosh does for him defensively. That's where he shows so much versatility as a 4 or 5 man, completely mobile out there, and it allows multiple pick and roll coverages.
It seems that offenses in the NBA are evolving so quickly now, Brent, so much less isolation, more spreading it out.
In fact, there's a new offense that just was created while you said that to me, Kevin.
Really, was there?
Yeah. You know, with the way we have these players coming into the NBA that are so skilled, no matter what their size is, coaches are looking at them and licking their chops and saying, you know what, I can do some dynamic things out here that maybe opposing coaches have not seen. And if I know what I'm doing and they don't know what we're going to throw at them, advantage to us.
Best coaching sometime adapting what you've got and the way the game is evolving and maybe changing and tweaking your coaching style just a bit.
And the best coaches in the league, Kevin, end up every year after they amass a new set of talent is to put those guys in the best position possible to succeed.
And the dunk by Bosh.
That's great basketball to feed Bosh. He completes the spectacular dunk there.
Pelicans leading by 4. And Holiday kicks to Cousins. Crawford against Bradley. Cousins with a screen on Bradley. Here's Davis. Again, the Pelicans score.
Man, sharp here to start the half. That's 3 in a row.
The Heat have gone 2 of 3 from the field to start the second half. Dragic dishes to Bradley. Leans inside, and it's Miami with another.
I don't know what's happening defensively, but they're not putting up any resistance.
Here's Crawford. Chris Bosh with the rebound. Bosh has got 3 rebounds now in this one.
And after burying 3 straight shot opportunities, finally a miss there. Still feeling the momentum, though.
Wow, he got whacked on that one. Shouldn't be much debate there.
For Miami, they have gone 3 of 4 at the free throw line tonight.
And in terms of team numbers, the free throw percentage is right at 74.
And the first one drops.
And the way that the league is changing, you have to respect the fact that Erik Spoelstra has changed along with it. He's had a lot of small ball during the big 3 years, and he's been able to recognize when it's advantageous to go small with his roster for quite some time.
Trevor Ariza's checked in for the Heat. And Johnson drops them both. And thinking about Spoelstra and how he was one of the few coaches to go small a couple years ago, Brent, you have to admire his flexibility in his approach.
Well, I think any coach really relishes the opportunity, Kevin, to have options on the floor. And when LeBron James is playing the 4 spot, he's a mismatch for everybody. Let's face it, when LeBron's on the floor for anybody, at any position, he's a mismatch. But Eric Spoelstra did some thinking outside the box and got that team to play championship caliber basketball for 4 straight seasons.
And let's catch up with our sideline reporter, David Aldridge.
Well, Kevin, smartphones and other technology are ubiquitous nowadays. Clippers head coach Doc Rivers says teams do pay a price. Social media and texting has absolutely hurt chemistry, he said. He recalled his championship season with the Celtics. One of the best things that happened to them was during the preseason in Italy, the players couldn't get a wireless signal, and they had to actually talk with one another. Kevin?
Yeah, that connection between players can make a difference. Thanks, David. Crawford passes to Davis. Ariza against Hill. Out to the right wing. 5 on the clock. It's stolen by Johnson. 7-foot shot, and so he draws the foul on the shot. A trip to the line to shoot 2. That one on Davis.
Fantastic job by Chris Bosh there to get the ball that close inside and getting the defense to feel uncomfortable.
These are his 3rd and 4th free throw attempts of the game.
And from the line thus far, how about 83% on the season? Outstanding.
Shooting 2.
And that one falls for Bosh. A platoon swap here for New Orleans. Then for the Heat, David Lee checked in for Johnson. Mills comes in for Avery Bradley. And it's Patrick Beverley in for Goran Dragic. And so Bosh nails both of them.
And even though they're down, they are putting on a show at the free throw line.
Cunningham gets the bucket. Cunningham's got his 3rd basket of the night right there.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
And Beverly kicks to Lee. And the jam by David Lee.
And that's how it's done. I mean, find that hole in the D and then go hard to the rack.
Maybe that hole was a little bigger than it should have been.
Especially in a game that is this close, every possession counting. That was just one side wanting it more than the other.
There's a screen by Modi Yunus. Over in the corner, Cunningham fires for 3. And it's Miami with the rebound. And going against New Orleans, their first meeting of the year.
And last season, they made short work of this club. 2 games, 2 wins.
Sort of representative of how they each finished the season. One a playoff team, the other on the outside looking in. I think things may play out the same way this year, too.
Fundamentals, guys, using the one-hand slam.
Well, he makes the basics look pretty exceptional. Here's Frazier. Off the mark and a bad shot there. He'd have gotten 5 of 8 shots to fall for them in the 3rd quarter. A nice 62% from the field. And pushing it up, here's New Orleans. They grabbed their own miss. Pondexter, no good.
Well, he's usually not up for much physical contact, but that time tried to knife his way in there through the defense and finish at the rim.
How about the concentration? He gets hit, but stays with the play and gets the finish.
The Heat have been good at the free throw line in this one, 7 of 8.
One shot.
The free throw drops for Lee.
We're still waiting for that first miss from the line this half.
They need a good offensive possession.
Yeah, they've gone a long time without a bucket.
Here's Pondexter. Good. Great play set up by Frazier. Pondexter's got 5 points so far. The Heat with the lead. Pass to Ariza. Dishes it to Bosh. The baseline Geil. And that one comes up a bit short.
The shot's there for him, and he's got to take it. I don't care if he doesn't convert. That's a shot he has to continue to take. Yeah, that's a tough call right there, and really a tough break for the D.
James Johnson's checked in for Trevor Ariza. We've got 33 seconds left here in the third quarter. Frazier kicks to Monteunice. New Orleans moving the ball around. Shot clock at 6. From deep three-point range, and it's Miami with the rebound. Bosch has got rebound number 5 here tonight, and it's blocked. They recover it. He kicks it to Beverly. And here's Mills from the arc. No good there. And at the close of the third quarter, still a close game, and both teams putting up points in a hurry. It's the Heat up 1. We're going to step aside for just a second, but join us right back here for the start of the fourth quarter next. And a moment ago, inside the huddle with head coach Alvin Gentry.
Guys, we got to be more solid, okay? We got to be more solid defensively. Now we got to dig in, we got to guard, okay? And then we got to execute.
A lot of things on that list, trying to refocus his troops moments ago, Coach Alvin Gentry.
Yeah, the energy's all right, but the execution definitely could be better with and without the basketball.
All right, the fourth quarter of action getting underway. We've had a great one so far with both sides coming to play. On the floor for Miami, we've got Lee. Bradley is out there with Patrick Beverly. Then it's Johnson, and it's Johnson in at the 3. And Beverly kicks to Lee. That's in. That's his 5th field goal. He's shooting a hot 71%, 5 for 7. And Holiday kicks to Cousins, and Cousins throws it down.
Enjoyed that unselfish play from Holiday for that swing pass to the open teammate.
Johnson dishes to Johnson, and then Johnson with the dunk.
Yeah, just a simple one-hand flush.
I think he got a few more inches on his vertical by going with the spike. Cousins, no one around him. Yes, and it's Holiday with the assist that time. Holiday's got 5 assists in the game. Lee kicks to Johnson. Nice D from Cousins. New Orleans has gotten a lot of looks from outside tonight, 5 of 12. Johnson with the block. And so it looks like the Pelicans will retain possession here. Jordan Crawford's checked in for more. Jordan Crawford. And so it's New Orleans with it. They've held a 12-point lead earlier. And Holiday kicks to Cousins to take the lead. The second effort. That shot, no good. And Miami the other way now. Here's Johnson. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up, and 2 shots coming up.
Really, the right play defensively. If you can't block, force him to the line.
No good on the free throw. Hill, he's checked in for New Orleans. No good at the stripe this time. Second misses also. Here's Crawford trying to get open as Davis. Crawford's shot is good. And the Pelicans lead by 2.
Nice work on the inside. Hard to get that one up and over the big fella.
Fearless, despite the size mismatch, took it right to him.
Here's Hill. Comes up empty from 8 feet. For Miami, they've gone 2 of 3 from the field to get the fourth quarter started. And it's Johnson with the jam.
As soon as AD poked that ball away, the team gets out on the break. He's so good at turning defense into offense.
Screen by Cousins. It's Davis on the wing. And it's out of bounds. The Heat will take it the other way.
Yeah, I don't know if he just lost sight of the lines on the floor, but he seemed perfectly oblivious to where he was on the court, guys.
We're in the fourth quarter here, just under 2.5 minutes gone. His first shot coming late, and that one's good. Beverly. Now Holiday. Kicks it to Davis. Crawford against Bradley. Here's Cousins. And again, no good by New Orleans.
Terrific defense. They definitely read the scouting report on this guy and could not have played him more perfectly there.
Bradley passes to Lee. To the inside. Johnson. That one goes. Count it.
He really could time those perfectly. What an assist.
Chris Bosh has checked in for Miami. Dragic comes in for Patrick Beverly. And that one falls for Johnson. Pelicans trail by 5. And Holiday kicks to Davis. Davis sets a screen. Inside, here's Cousins. Good, the assist goes to Hill. And that's 19 points here for Cousins.
And they'll be counting on even more points from him. That's essential if they're going to pull this game out.
Close game, fourth quarter. This is his time.
Here's Crawford. Yep, it counts. Now just a 1-point Heat lead.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Exactly. They get out quickly, executed to perfection.
Miami no good on that time either. New Orleans gone 1 of 2 from three-point range here in the fourth. Here's Holiday. Here's Cousins. And no good. Had a chance to take the lead. The Heat have gone 5 of 7 from the field since the beginning of the fourth. Strong work at that end of the floor. And it's Johnson with the jam.
A terrific look from Bosh there to set up a teammate for a good look.
There's 1:47 left in the fourth. Now here is Holiday. Outside, Davis. Down low, Crawford. And it's Miami with the rebound. Dragic has got 3 rebounds now in this one. And there it is for him. And now a 5-point Heat lead.
Not sure how many times Bosh has to prove it, but in tight games, this is the guy you go to. Comes through with a huge basket.
13 feet away. It's rebounded by Bosh. Bosh has got his 7th rebound here tonight. Outside, Dragic. 1:03 left here in the fourth quarter. Holiday with the defensive effort. Hill kicks to Cousins. Here's the floater. Second chance effort. And the ball goes out of bounds. Last touch by Johnson. And the Pelicans making a change. Pondexter's checked in. Now a timeout called by New Orleans. They're losing by 5. There's 48 seconds left in the fourth. Let's go to the sideline and catch up with our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge.
Hey guys, I got a chance to find out what Alvin Gentry talked about with his players. He told him we've got to make the most of every chance right now. This is a winnable game, but we've got to make plays. Guys, we'll see if they can come back.
Holiday with it. To the middle, trying to find Davis. He's got it now. Fires from 14, misses off the left iron. And they go to the intentional foul. .34 seconds left to play here in the fourth. And so they choose to intentionally foul. Drops the first one, and that increases their lead to 6.
And while Dragic doesn't get to the free throw line all that often, when he does, he's usually pretty good.
And he cannot convert on the second. That misses. And it's the Pelicans' ball. It's 9 seconds separating the shot clock and game. Outside, Davis. And he was fouled in the act of shooting. Chance here now for a three-point play.
Well, with the game's outcome hanging in the balance, Davis does exactly what he needs to do. A gigantic shot from their big man.
They'll be trying to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Exactly. Expect to see longer possessions from this point on.
Yeah, you can't let them hold the ball and just milk those last seconds away.
Gentlemen, move shot. Move shot.
He drops the first one, and that gives them a 4-point cushion. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 5-point game.
And just like that, this game is a 2-possession affair.
Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over. They trail by 5. There's 18 seconds left in the game. Guys, your thoughts?
Yeah, time a huge factor right now. They've got to get points and then the foul.
And this is where 5 fingers need to become a fist. No room for error.
There's 18 seconds left to play here in the fourth. And again, no good by New Orleans. And an intentional foul right there.
You have to foul, but I'm sure they would have liked to foul someone different.
James Johnson at the line for 2.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. Move shots.
He doesn't hit the first, and that was the one they really want. He's got one more, though. No luck that time either. Timeout called here. The Pelicans decide to talk it over. They're trailing by 5. 12 seconds left in the fourth. Guys, your thoughts?
And a quick bucket and a foul is really the only option at this point.
Yeah, let's forget about how to foul and concern ourselves with who to foul.
Holiday dishes to Cousins. And Holiday kicks to Pondexter. Off target with his 3. And they go to the intentional foul.
Chris Bosh, 2 shots.
Shoot 2.
Good on the first, and that increases their lead to 6. And so he drops them both. It's a 7-point game. Back to Holiday. Misses the shot. And so it's Miami winning this one. They seem to relish their role as the bad guy here tonight.
You know, Kevin, I sense that as well. I mean, they really did feed off all of that negative energy this crowd was directing at them. I mean, they turned it around and used it as motivation to close out a significant win.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks very much. Goran, what has been the key to the success of this team lately and the key tonight?
In the last 2 games, everybody is playing for each other. You know, we're sharing the ball, we are active in defense, and we run. I think so. Last 2 games, that was the key. Everybody was involved, everybody was shooting the ball well, and here's the result.
Yeah, everything's working really well for you right now. Thanks for the time. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that's going to do it tonight, folks, for our broadcast. So for David Aldridge, Greg Anthony, Brent Barry, and the whole 2K Sports crew, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for being with us. Now we send you to the award-winning Ernie Johnson, who's standing by in our studio.
The 2K Sports Post-Game Show.
Welcome back, friends and neighbors. Ernie Johnson along with Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny Smith as we move forward to the presentation of our Jordan player, Chris Bosh. As so often is the case, he was the straw that stirred up the passion, the confidence, the closing ability that we saw from his team tonight.
Tell you what, he was not one of the guys the fans thought they would beat them, but that's exactly what happened. He went out there and played the best game of his life, and it's the #1 reason they're walking out of that building with a win.
Love watching his skill down low. He didn't even just beat them with the size tonight. He displayed great hands and great footwork. Great big man moves.
And that is the end of our broadcast for this evening. It sounds like an old 1940s guy, don't I? That's the end of our broadcast for this evening.
Kenny, Ernie,
for Ken Smith and Shaq O'Neal.